How's the wind, Anna? Hi, everybody. Come on. Can you wave to people? Bells. Hi, everybody. As you can tell by the bells chiming, it's 5 o'clock. It is blustery for sure, so hopefully you can hear me, and fortunately I'll be inside some of the time. Now, I want to just get it out there, I'm incredibly nervous. This is not something I've ever done before, and while I am so excited to show you Principia, I'm like freaking out a little bit. So I just want you to know that I am awkward. Winston is really the star of the show, and everything will be awesome. So hopefully you'll get to learn a lot about Principia and what we have to offer. My name is Nicole Gervais. I'm the Assistant Director of Recruiting here at Principia College, and I want to welcome you to today's virtual tour of Principia College. One main thing you should know is that due to the stay-at-home ordinance placed by the state of Illinois, most of our students aren't here. Most of our faculty and staff aren't here. The only ones that are here are us lucky few that get to live on campus, plus a few of our students who couldn't go home. So you may see a handful or smattering of people around, but only a few, and unfortunately we won't really get to talk to them today, but we would love for you to ask questions and reach out via a virtual website link that Carly, our moderator, will share. I'd like to introduce Winston. Winston, come here. We dance sometimes. Winston. Oh gosh, or he just jumps up. But anyways, I'll try to show you the dancing later. He's going to be my sidekick along with my husband Chris, who's going to drive the cart. On the chat feed, where you're welcome to ask questions, and I encourage you to do so. I might not be able to get to them, but Carly Hendrickson is our office manager for the admissions office, and she's going to moderate this talk. And what she'll do is she'll help direct your question to the appropriate people. Those people include, but are not limited to, Brett Grimmer, our interim director of admissions, 4 of our admissions counselors, Tori Rain, Ashley Noville, Zakia, Pearson, Gill. And they're even all just in their homes. Plus, I have 5 ambassadors for you to talk to. Our ambassadors are our students who work to help support visitors in learning about Principia. We have Marie Sherman from Canada, Quinn Heinbaugh from Dublin, California, Anna Webster from St. Louis, Rachel McLeod Warwick from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and Leslie Amakato, who's from Kenya but who's staying here right now. Oh, and I see that we do have our international admissions counselor as well, Nathan Smith. So any questions that you have, please feel free to put them in. I can't wait to show you around. I hope that you learn a lot. You'll learn a lot about a little. How's it go? I forget. Anyways, you're going to have a good time because I'm going to have a good time. So, welcome to Principia, and let's go for a ride. So, I'm kind of new to the thing I'm using. So, this is the Great Mississippi River. As you can see, it is a blustery day, and what we're gonna do, that's the state of Missouri over there, and we're up here on 2,600 acres of land here in Illinois. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna drive around by golf cart. Winston, just so you can see him, because he's just so cute. Winston's gonna hang out. Oh, that's my face. Really sorry. Winston's gonna help us tour everything by sitting in the golf cart. He's become quite lazy. So these are the bluffs. It's beautiful. I'm sorry about the blusteriness, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you some bearings, and we're gonna go in some buildings and show you what life is like here at Principia and what options you have. And that's one thing that you'll hear a lot. there are a lot of different opportunities. There are opportunities to do so many different things here at Principia that hopefully I'll begin to just touch the iceberg of them. So just over here to the right, that's our east quad. This is where we'll end up finishing the tour, so I just want you to have an idea. But right now, that's our library, that's the sample house or the mistake house, and this is our chapel and the chapel green. One of the things that's really great about Principia are the opportunities, and one really unique opportunity that we have is the ability to play the carillon, and that is the music that comes out of the bells of the chapel. And we just had a student, Carson Landry, who won a Fulbright scholarship to go to Belgium to study and learn more about carillon, and that is just so awesome and so unique. What we're gonna do first is I'm gonna give you just a little bit of a panel of the view here of the chapel green. So, oh my bad, sorry. So this is what we have. Oh my gosh, could you ask for a more beautiful day? I just don't even know. So we're gonna start over here on the left side of the picture with the west quad, and then we'll circle around. We'll go right through there, down towards some other buildings, and then we'll come back up along this way. The chapel green is used for a variety of things. It's used for ultimate frisbee. It's used for when you graduate and you finish commencement. This is where you get to come out and celebrate with your families. When you want to be part of the Whole World Festival or the sorry, oh goodness, I told you I'm really nervous. If you want to be part of the Whole World Festival or the Earth Day celebration, this is where you would come. What we're going to do now is we're going to drive over here, and our first stop is going to be at Voney. Voney is an art center, but along the way, what I want you to notice is the bluffs. And along the bluffs, as you'll see, some of the land looks different. During the course of life here, our students, like I said, get a lot of experiences. One of them includes, in the environmental world, it includes getting to do science with people. And so that means that one of the things they get to do is they get to practice land conservation. So with John Loveseth and the land stewardship crew, they do burnings of the land. With Scott Eckert, they go out and they tag snakes, but they have a lot of different options, and it's really just a really cool opportunity here for students to learn and get a feel for hands-on experience, and that goes through all different areas of our community. So now we're approaching Voney. Voney is one of our art studios. And what I'd like to tell you about Voney is that it was recently renovated. So it just finished renovation in the fall of 2018. Sorry, it's really bright. I gotta put my sunglasses on. And during that renovation, they just made it so beautiful. So beautiful. I don't know who you are that did this, but this is wonderful. And I wanted to share, this is a place where you can come and study. This is a place where you don't have to be just an art student. Heck, I'm not an art student. I'm not even very good at art. But this is a place that I would come and study. As I said, we're in Voney now, and Voney is an art studio that is just second to none in my opinion, with beautiful views, sweeping landscapes for you to just, if you can't find some inspiration there, then, well, even I could, and I am not really an artist. One of the things I really love is that it has art all over, and as I stated earlier, we have an ambassador named Anna Webster, and Anna Webster is actually an art major and is finishing up her capstone. So if you have questions about art, I've already asked her one today that she's been researching for me, and so feel free to pop a question in the question marks or the comments and see what Anna has to say. Okay, so there is art from everywhere around here. We have lots of different mediums. One of the coolest mediums that's being taught right now is that there's a sustainability class. So there is an effort to make sustainability part of how this goes. In this classroom here, you'll see we have several different Mac labs on campus that allow students to do work in what I think is the best type of computer, but that's a personal opinion, so don't quote Principia on it. And there are a lot of different avenues, so whether you want to do art in a traditional sense with painting or sculpture or things like that, or drawing, you can also do art, and you'll see later we can do art that has to do with music and video or performing arts. And so it's really, really great that there are so many different options. One of the things I really love is that here at Principia we have major capstones, and one of the things that's really cool is who get to come and have a gallery show. So here they would and drink, and they meet their guests, and then just inside this room you'll see that there's art. And I'm sorry that the glass is not amazing and the film is not amazing. Let me see if I can get away. But as you can see, there are bits of art up around, and this gallery is also used by local artists, so people who come who are local, who are Principia alums, and so we make use of this facility for a lot of different reasons. And so, like I said earlier, before I disappeared into oblivion for a second, it is a really great way to share art with the rest of the community, and to really let people practice showcasing what they've put their heart and soul into. And our art teachers are fantastic. And you'll hear me talk about abroads later, but we have art abroad. So one just went on an abroad with Dinah Ryan and Paul Ryan, and they did an English abroad as well as art, and they went to Prague. How cool is that? So you'll hear more about abroads from me, but right now we've joined them back up, and here we are entering the west side of campus, of the dorm life. So over on the far left is Sylvester. This is Howard, Lowry, and then on the far side over there is Clara. These dorms here, Howard and Sylvester, they are known as Mcveigh buildings. Oh, fancy that! Do you see that guy waving right there, guys? That's our interim president, John. Mr. President, we are so glad that you are here. His timing, not even planned, guys. Oh, yeah, sorry. Could you wave? Perfect. Thanks, John. Thank you, you too. So the building John just walked out of is Clara, and it is currently being used as a building for administrative purposes. Straight ahead is the Concourse, which we'll come back to, but we're going to make a hard left here. Winston enjoys the ride thoroughly. We have Howard, like I said, a Mcveigh dorm for women, and just a really cool dorm. And here on the left is Sylvester. Sylvester, look at those beautiful trees. Now my mom wouldn't want me to say what they are, but unfortunately I'm not aware of what they are. So I just like to look at them and know that they're beautiful. And it's one of the dorms that's currently open and housing students. It is a co-ed dorm, so on one side is men and on one side is women. And it was the house that is was the most favorite of Bernard Mcveigh's wife, because he thought it looked like a Tudor-style house. Right now, though, we're going to go into Anderson. We're going to say bye to Winston. See you in a few, Winston. He really likes to hang out there. Down that way is where some faculty and staff live, as well as Cox Cottage, where if you need some metaphysical support or anything like that, that's the place to go. But right now we're going to walk into Anderson, and Anderson is the house, is a freshman house, and one of the things that's really great about it is the rooms are really cool. So in houses like Lowry or Joe and Ferg, which are on the other side of campus, you'll see a more traditional style room. However, in these dorms here, they really are phenomenal. And so when you walk in, it's just so gorgeous. Let me turn the camera around so you can see. So this is Anderson. Look at this living room. Holy cow. Who would not want to study in here and really get a feel, get cozy? Some of the furniture is really old and was part of the same estate as the Hertz. For those of you that know Hertz, he had another estate, and so part of this furniture is antiques from him. And if you are really interested in architecture and perhaps even in more about Mcveigh, we can give you a full tour. I want to show you, I neglected to show you, that's my name tag, and that's what gets you in buildings. So you need to have one of those in order to go through buildings and get through to things. And so, sorry that it's blurry, let's spin it around for a second. And so these buildings, they just are like hallowed halls. Some people think that that living room that we just came through looks a lot like Hogwarts, and I love Harry Potter, so I totally support that theory. And since I haven't been to Universal or to Hogwarts, I like to come here just to get a feel for it. All the rooms, all the halls have bathrooms on them, and on the bathrooms are, on the bathrooms they tend to have lockers as well, or places to store your goods as needed. And then we have rooms, and so we're just going to pop into this room so that you get kind of a feel. This is one of the bigger rooms. It has two giant closets, a lot of space. Every room comes with a bed that can be made into a bunk bed if you'd like, a desk, a chair, and a dresser, and a little bedside stand. A lot of people tend to have their own refrigerators, a small fridge in their dorm room, but it's not needed. Same goes for cars on campus. I just want to talk about that real quickly. A lot of kids have cars. I did not. I'm a 2001 graduate, and I got away with not having a car until right before I graduated, and it was totally fine. I had friends who had them, or just people who I got to know who would offer to allow me to go with them places. And then when you walk outside, holy camoli, it just, like, this place is beautiful. And if you disagree, I'd love to hear it so that I can tell you why you're wrong. Just kidding. So anyways, yeah, so this is a freshman dorm, half men, half women, and a really cool place to study and to spend your first year. And one of the really cool parts about where it's located is that it's located in a place that is so convenient to the concourse. So in the winter when it's cold and you don't want to have to walk very far, it is right there. It also makes it so that sometimes you can be late to class because you're right there. But we all get through that. We all learn how to be on time and things like that. I hope the wind isn't too bad, and I'm grateful that you're all still watching. As you can see, bikes are a part of campus. And so I rode a bike all the time when I was a student. It was wonderful, and it really made life getting around easy. We have long boards. We have those really short skateboards that I don't know what they're called. But right now we're going to go into the concourse so I can show you a little bit about what that's like. But getting around campus is not that difficult. It's relatively small compared to the giant universities around. And so, sorry, I'm a big waver and I say hello to everyone. Anyways, so yeah, let's go into the concourse. The concourse is also known as the Howard Center, and the thing that's really cool about it is that so much of your life here is in this building. So we have the dining hall, and just to give you a frame of reference, just to have a frame of reference, over there is the West Quad. There goes Chris and Winston. They're gonna meet us on the other side. That's one of the exits from Anderson. So as you can see, really good. Okay, so here in the Concourse or the Howard Center, depending on who you're talking to, is a place that has so many things. So it has the dining room, and ambassadors, I'd love for you to say what maybe your favorite meal is, or something like that, because I know that one of my favorite meals is Pasta Your Way. So on Fridays, they do a really good job at creating various exciting meals. So we have Burger Top and Pasta Your Way and sizzling salads and things like that. So this is the concourse. A couple things to note up there is where you would come out of those brown doors on the left and go straight up, and you'd pay Sue probably. She's one of our amazing dining service people. I wanted to point out these flags. These flags represent students from all the different countries that have come and gone to school here at Principia, and it's a really exciting time. For those of you that haven't seen, we have done some renovations. So if you're an alum like me, you remember when the mailboxes were on this side. Well, we've moved them and added a ramp. So people who come in, who need a little bit of help getting up to the top is really, really important. And as you can see, the mailboxes still look pretty much exactly the same. So that's exciting. And a very storied painting that's been here for a very long time. There are a couple nooks and crannies in which you can hang out, and that's always a nice little draw. Down these stairs is an ATM at the top, and down the stairs is campus security, which is where you get your parking pass and things like that. If you've lost your key or you get your really fancy ID badge, that's where you go to watch that. And in here is the pub. The pub's been renovated since I was a student. It's a little bit nicer. I'm sorry I don't have a key to go in, but it's my favorite place to eat. Oh yeah, Southwest chicken sandwiches. Katie Lovegren, I just saw your comment. I totally agree. But it is a really good place to go. Late night snacks, if you just need an ice cream pick-me-up, whatever it is. But this is something that actually my class helped contribute to. It's called the Student Activity Center and the C-Store, and we're just going to pop in real quick. This is a really great place to hang out, and our newest addition to it is that giant "You Are Loved" painting over there. Carly will share the link with you for Alex Cook, who was the artist who came and worked in conjunction with the CSO and all the students around campus to get that painting up. It means that we had to move the television, which is a great place to watch UEFA Champions League and maybe the best team right now, which is Liverpool. You'll never walk alone, folks. You'll never walk alone. Anyway, sorry if that made no sense to you, but I think it is totally worth it to move that piece of art and have it right there. So, but in here we've got foosball, we've got pool tables, we've got basketball hoops, we've got tables just for hanging out, ping pong, air hockey, and just another table. And then inside here, since all of you mostly will order your books online, a traditional bookstore is no longer needed. So what does that mean? That means that we just get to sell food and snacks and goodies and maybe the things that you would have to go to Target to get. Now you can get those at ease right here on campus. And it does make a big difference with regards to just if you don't have a car, how nice that is, because that was not the case when I was a student. You definitely had to have a car in order to get around. What we're going to do is we're going to walk right back out now, and we're going to meet Chris on the other side. So this thoroughfare that you normally would walk through is a really common place. I actually call it the stream, because if I need to get a hold of one of my students, I can just sit in one of these seats, and chances are I will see them, because everybody's got to eat. So it's a wonderful little place with a lot of activity and life. And on a day like today, actually yesterday when it wasn't so windy, some of the students who've been here on campus, they came and they just ate their lunch out here. And it's a really popular place to do that. And the springtime, that was one of my favorite things to do, was to sit out here and eat and enjoy and talk to people as they went by to class and really just get to be part of the community. Right there, that is the School of Government. It's under construction, and I'll talk about it again in a second. But what I wanted to show you first, and what Chris and Winston are so patiently waiting to take me to, is a little drive-by of the library. And that's the library right up ahead of us. The library is a wonderful building because it holds our archives, a wealth of knowledge, and one of the greatest things that I think it has is our CTL. Our CTL is actually called the Center for Teaching and Learning. And one of the things that's great about the Center for Teaching and Learning is that it is a group of professors supported by students who help you with your writing, your time management, and making sure that you are able to be successful here at college. So whether you are a very strong student, an average student or someone who just needs a little bit more help, there's no judgment in that office, and it is just a wonderful place to go and work. And our library has a lot of hours, closed right now as you can guess, but it's a really great building, and I spent a lot of time in there when I was actually here as a graduate assistant, and I loved it because it was just a quiet place to get some work done. Right now we're walking up here to the School of Nations, and by walking I mean riding in style. Winston will be staying and waiting for us, huh Winston? You good boy? Yeah, he's a great boy. He's a great boy. Okay, so we're gonna go in here into the School of Nations. And the School of Nations, you kind of have to envision it with some flair in your head, because it's not set up for anything right now. It's a classroom area with offices for things like philosophy and education and areas like that. But the area that we're going to walk into is called Holt Gallery right now. And Holt Gallery, what I want you to envision, okay, are you ready? Holt Gallery, it's got 200 chairs, it's got food and drink and snacks, of course, because who wouldn't go anywhere without that? And then right over there against that wall, it'll have a stage. And on that stage are famous people performing. And I'm talking people who have won The Voice or been second in The Voice, or comedians and things like that. They come and they perform and they host what we call one of our favorite activities is called Starbrooks. And Starbrooks sometimes is held in here. It's sometimes held out by Brooks, which is one of our houses. Sometimes it's even been held out on the Chapel Green. And it's just a really wonderful event of music, of comedy, of things like that. And arguably one of our best shows I was in. No joke. I got up on stage and I sang with someone who now has like 15,000 followers on Instagram, and she follows me. I'm just saying, that's how cool this place can be. So, but the other reason it's called the School of Nations is because all of the rooms, they have a name. And the name goes with the style of the room. So this is a Spain room. One of the things I love about the School of Nations classrooms is all of them have a beautiful view of the Chapel Green. And sometimes you just actually get to go have class out there. But the furniture is a little bit different. It's not your traditional schoolwork. It has art that measures or meets, what you're doing or learning about. And almost all of our rooms have really big televisions where teachers can share information and really get to know really get to share with you in a technological savvy way what's going on or what they're trying to teach. So where I grew up with a projector, teachers now have televisions and monitors in a lot of rooms to help make sure that you are getting the most and meeting the needs of your education. Upstairs is mostly education rooms and education professors and art history and things like that professors. And Marie Sherman is actually one of our educational studies students. So she can tell you a lot about what Ed Block looks like and what that major looks like. So please don't hesitate to ask questions if you're interested in educational studies or something like that, or outdoor ed, because she can really tell you what it's all about. I just want you to get another look. Pardon my fingers. Look at him. He just sits there and waits. Winston does too. Just kidding. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna drive over here and we're gonna come see the School of Government. Now, for those of you that are like me that grew up in the School of Government, maybe you did, you registered for classes, which is now entirely online, but you didn't have to lay down and sleep in a hallway in an attempt to get a class as a freshman. It's now under construction. So while it may have been, While it may have been, part of it has been taken down, most of it is being renovated. And I don't know how the light is on this. So at the other end is where they'll be renovating it. And then, or making a new part down by the colonnade. And over here is what the new part will look like. And as you can see, it just is really a beautiful, beautiful building with really big glass windows. And that's where people will go back and start working again when it is finished. It is scheduled to be finished It is scheduled to be finished by the fall of 2021. So for juniors that may be watching, that's when you'll come in and that's when it'll be ready to go. And so that'll be really exciting for you to get to see. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into the Science Center, and we're going to start at Wanamaker, and from there we're going to walk through what is our newest completely full building. So this building was just really great. My first experience of it was in the fall of '96. Thank you, Chris. The fall of '96 when I came for my visit, and Joe Ritter was a brand new professor at the time, and he gave me a tour, and all I did was step over 2x4s. And that was really funny to now know that I walked through this building so completely. I had no idea what the vision was, and it really turned out wonderfully. This room is called Wanamaker. It's one of our areas for performances, for talks, for lectures, for shows. If you were here on a traditional visiting weekend, this is where you would learn about the abroad program. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Now, what I neglected to tell you at the beginning of the show, like I'm some sort of entertainer. Anyways, what I neglected to tell you at the beginning was that when I came back from Principia, when I came back to work here in 2015, I was coaching men's and women's soccer. And then I moved into being a student event manager, and I ended up going on 4 different abroads as a resident counselor. Every dorm here has a resident counselor that is just there to kind of help you get through stuff. They're there to someone to talk to or go to. They're there to support you in whatever way you may need. The same thing happens on abroads. So our abroad program is second to none. Our abroad program is a program that is built and created and run and designed and led by faculty. So what that means is that a faculty member that is passionate about something, a faculty member who loves a location, what they do is they create an entire class or set of classes with fellow faculty, and they create an entire curriculum for you to go and learn there. So an experiential experience. Instead of, at other schools, abroads often have moments where you just drop into a school. You drop in and you go to their university. Here at Principia, you go with a cohort of Principians. So that means a group of peers and professors. And depending on the length of your trip, you'll have 1 professor or 2 professors or even 3 professors plus a resident counselor. And by far my favorite job probably in my life has been a resident counselor on these abroads. And people, my ambassadors, most of them can talk about it because they've all gotten to go on them. Most of our students here at Principia get to go on an abroad because the cost does not change from what you would normally pay to go to school here. And you can learn more about that later because it's kind of a lot for me to explain right now. But I want you to know that the abroad program is like nothing else. And it is something, if you just have the inkling of an idea that you want to go travel abroad at any point, this is a great place for you. We have so many different abroads coming up, and you're allowed to do, it doesn't matter if it's your major or not. That's the greatest part. So you can go on an English and theater and history abroad and not be and be a business major. Quinn, does that sound familiar? So what I'm saying is this is a great place to go. What I'm doing right now is I'm walking through what is called Old Watson. We passed the practitioner's office, our alumni and field relations office, as well as our IT office. We're also now passing faculty offices. These are faculty who used to be in School of Government, but have now transitioned over here. Everyone here has been great at being flexible and things like that. And as that sign says, down there is our Innovation Center. So we have a business program and we have an entrepreneurship program. And Quinn Heinbach can talk to you about what that means and what that looks like as a business major. This sign cracks me up because it says to keep it closed at all times, and I open it, and it makes me laugh. Okay, so this right here is our engineering department. And one of the things I want you to know is we have now officially entered the Science Center. If you want to come and study engineering, you can do chemical engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, or mechanical engineering. And this is a place where they do 3D printing and so many other things. One of the things, as I've said before, is that during the course of your experience here at Principia, it doesn't matter how old you are. You get hands-on experience. Our engineering program and our sciences are prime examples of that because they allow you to do things that at other universities, sometimes you have to be a graduate student, or sometimes you have to be even just a junior or a senior. But here as a freshman, you can get experience in learning how to tap trees for maple syrup, learning how to just do so many variety of things. Our sustainability program is fairly new and it is just taking off. We have a club, and clubs are something else that I'll talk about in a minute, but this is really just such a wonderful building that gives so much credit to our sciences and our science professors. So it has 2 levels. It has lab space, it has rooms, it has a lot of really cool pieces. One of my favorite parts, sorry that it's dark, one of my favorite parts is this. This is our green room, or our greenhouse, excuse me. Green room comes with theater, greenhouse comes with science. So this is our greenhouse, and faculty and staff alike get to do work in here. Even Carly Hendrickson, she is a big fan of our greenhouse and wanted to make sure that I included it in the tour, and don't worry, I wasn't gonna miss it. So there are just so many different little opportunities that regardless of your major, you get to be a part of and you get to learn from. So it doesn't matter if you think that you really are wanting to be a science major, but you suddenly think you really like music, you can go and try music. And that's a beauteous part of liberal arts. Have I talked to you about liberal arts yet? I don't think so. Liberal arts is what Principia College is, and it's a way to go to school because, like most 18-year-olds, you might not know what you want to be for the rest of your life. And also, like most 18-year-olds, if you think you know, that could change. And so the thing that's really great to know is that a liberal arts education it forces you and allows you to take a lot of different classes in different areas. That's how I learned I loved history, but I minored in coaching, business, and history because I found out I loved all these things that I hadn't known I'd loved before. One other part of the Science Center here is the Aviary. And the Aviary has, oh, there's my favorite bird. I don't really know what these birds are called but look, they're just so cool. So this is a cool place to come and study and learn and really get to see what things look like. There are rooms around, and I think that I can actually go into this room over here. I can. And this room over here is called our zoology lab, and what it has is a lot of different animals, bugs, and things like that. But look how cool this room is. There's one of our students who's here taking care of animals, but it is just a lab full of opportunities to learn and study and grow, and my goodness, if I liked science, which it's not that I don't really like science, I just was never my forte, but if I liked science, this would totally be the place that I would want to come and study and learn, because our faculty are beyond amazing. They know so much and they have so much experience. The professor for that class is actually going to be leading an abroad to the Galapagos and Ecuador, as I recall, with one of our philosophy professors. Talk about a really cool experience to get to see what that looks like. Okay, so a couple more things that I want to show you in here. First of all, that's one of my mom's favorite paintings. That's all I'm going to say about that part. She loves it. And these are paintings by former students, and they've been around for a really long time, and I just love them. And then I just wanted to show you down here. Down here, there's the second half of the Aviary, and that really cool thing, that is our woolly mammoth find. So when I was in college, we had a class that went around and dug things up. I think you call that archaeology, right? So they went around, and what they did was they were digging things up, but then unbeknownst to them, while they were doing renovations on Rackham Court, which is over on the far side of campus, and I'll show you when we go by, what they found was that they had hit something. the guys who were digging stuff up to put in pipeline and stuff. So when they did that, they found that they called some people from the Science Center over, and they said, "Could you come take a look at this?" And sure enough, they found the woolly mammoth remains. So that place has been excavated and then recovered, and it is just so cool. It made the news, but talk about a once-in-a-lifetime experience, if you know what I mean. So what I want to show you right now is that we got, there's our rugby coach up there. Way up at the other end, that's where we started walking through, and then we walked through this big, long, there's the greenhouse, and we came all the way around. And now, Winston, you ready? You ready? Okay, have a seat. Look, he's gonna sit down. Perfect, nicely done, bud. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna head down to that building right there. That building is the Mcveigh Center. It was formerly known as Maury Fieldhouse, and because it's a historical landmark, it was not torn down, but instead renovated, and it was just finished this October. So we had a grand opening where all the different parts of performing arts did a giant and totally awesome a presentation. So as you can see, it has two big ends at the sides, and right in through there is where we're going to go in and see what makes it so cool. Before I go in, I want to touch base on that piece right there. Bubba Sugarman is one of our seniors, and he is the artist behind that piece, and he made that piece in his sustainability class. And so that artwork is just something that, you know, we continue to love and appreciate, and are grateful that students are building things and sharing. So as we go in here, the Mcveigh Center for the Performing Arts. First, when you walk in, this is the lobby. Oh, I never showed you my shirt. I'll show you my shirt in a minute. This is the lobby, and even better yet, this is the Robert Duval Theater. Robert Duval is one of our alums, and he is, in case you don't know him, he's been in quite a few movies and is just a really wonderful actor. He actually went to school with my second grade teacher, so I always thought that that was cool as a kid. But as you walk through here, so that's the place where they can do dance rehearsal. We also have classroom spaces in Hay Fieldhouse, which is our performance gym. But right now, I will get back to Carly. When I get to Merrick Davis, I'd love to answer questions about music. So please make sure that I touch base on that. So what I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to show you as we walk into the theater, to the Mcveigh Performing Arts Center and the Duval Theater specifically. In October, they put up these really cool photos, and they made an absolutely phenomenal video to share. And then this is our Wild Circus stage, which sadly, they are not going to get to perform completely. But this is our new stadium, or theater, excuse me. And for those of you, I don't know if you can hear, but the acoustics in here are really quite awesome. When I was a student, we played intramurals, and we played pickup soccer in here and things like that. But to see it come back and be used properly, arguably, for the use of theater and performances is just phenomenal. And just right back through there, if you can tell, is a beautiful glass window. Oh, I'm so glad that Maddie Wan is here. Maddie Wan can answer a ton of music questions, as she is a soccer player, the president of Plus One, which is our a cappella group, and a music major. So I'll let her touch base on some music questions, but I'll be sure to help out when we get to music, or when we get to Davis Merrick. We're going to head back out, but hopefully you really got, I don't know if you can get the feel totally for what things are like here and what it feels like, but our facilities are phenomenal, and our faculty and staff are just off the charts. So when you put those two things together, plus the students that are on this conversation right now, they're some of my favorites, and I have a lot of favorites, I'm not gonna lie, but they are just really great people. And so when you put that all together, and I wish that you were getting to see that all in one package in a traditional visit, but right now, this is what I can do. And so I hope that you're getting a little bit of the passion and the feeling of what it would be like to go to school here. We're gonna step outside, and we're gonna slowly make a U-turn to show you. We're slowly going to make a U-turn to show you some of the facilities that are athletic facilities. We're going to do a separate tour specifically to cover all the athletic facilities at a later date. But right now, I'd like to show you that is the backside of Hay Fieldhouse. These are our outdoor tennis courts with our beach volleyball courts behind it. Up and to the right are the practice soccer fields and the softball fields, as well as our indoor tennis center, Hexburg. So we have a lot of facility space because we have so much acreage. We've really made use of the beautiful land, and our landscaping crew is just phenomenal when it comes to making sure that our fields are in top-notch condition. Which just, I might have neglected to mention, but I help coach soccer still. And so that is something that I really, really love and I'm passionate about. And I'm grateful to have played here and to now be on my, I think, maybe my 11th year coaching and all of that jazz that really allows for the appreciation of how fine our athletic facilities are. So what we're doing now is we're coming around. This is all cordoned off with fencing to keep everyone safe while they do construction. They are here in small numbers working on the construction of the building. And right over there, that brick building there, that is Cox Auditorium. Cox Auditorium is the place where you will walk for commencement. It is the place where we have had speakers like nobody's business. We have had Barack Obama, we have had Jimmy Carter, we've had Henry Kissinger, Margaret Thatcher, and then one of my personal favorites was Jane Goodall. It has a beautiful organ inside. It is where we have our convocation in the fall and in the spring, where all the students and faculty and staff come together. And it's just, our speaker series is really wonderful. I'm gonna leave Winston there for a second while we go inside to Merrick Davis. Merrick Davis is, thank you. Chris is helping me with doors and stuff when possible. Merrick Davis is our sorry, I just had like the biggest brain gafunk. Merrick Davis is our current home for admissions. So if you were here on a visiting weekend, if you were a parent, this is where you would meet us, and we'd go on a tour, probably with Anna Webster, one of the ambassadors who's online right now. That's Brett's office right down the way. My office is right down there. And what that means is that you would get to come and ask questions. And so parents, this is for you too. Please ask questions and share information, or just get to know what we're like and what we do. This building houses mass communications as well as theater and dance and music. So music is a very broad term because we have professors who teach band, who teach all various types of instruments, who teach voice, and like I said, Maddie Wan can speak to that. We also have mass communications in here, which has to do with photography and writing and all of those really, really great opportunities to share your information. One of the things that I like most about this building, besides having a small theater for performances called the Black Box Theater, which is totally black, and I don't know where the lights are, so we're not going in there. Downstairs we have a little a little area called Davis Music Hall, and that's where on Fridays we often have music at Davis, where different artists get to perform their music, whether they're playing in a string quartet or the jazz band, or just someone like Maddie Wan who's doing a solo and sharing their music. And so music is a really big part of our Principia community here. One thing that I would like to say though is that one of the coolest parts, have you heard me say this about Principia, is the opportunities? There are a lot of them. And this room or this building houses some of those opportunities. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you some of the opportunities that don't fall under majors, but fall under ways to study. So PIR is our Principia Internet Radio, and it literally, we have a radio broadcasting. So when I was a student, that was like a low FM number, and now as an adult it is As an adult, it is actually an internet station that you can listen to, and students can have various different talk shows that they want to have, and that's really great. Another thing that we have is our media services department. So media services is normally the type of people who would be doing this because they'd be really good at it. They'd be the ones like moving the camera and helping you get the scripts together and all that stuff. But they also offer job opportunities as well as opportunities to really learn about what is here. So the offices are currently closed because everyone's at their stay-at-home order, but here is one of our editing suites. So students can come in and do editing at some of the best equipment around. And I have watched students do this for themselves, for projects, for abroads, all of that. And it's really, really wonderful. When I was a student, I even came down. I don't know anything about it, but my best friend taught me, and we had a wonderful time spending time down here and honing our craft. As you come around this way, one thing that is also really great is we have a thing called individualized majors. So individualized majors mean that students can create a major by working with a man named Jim Haggerty. But Jim Haggerty, the reason I'm bringing him up is because he has recorded lots of music. And so here's one of our recording studios. This is I guess what would be called like the sound booth. And through that glass, which you can't see obviously, is our sound room where you can record music. And this past summer we had Jim and a bunch of students created an entire jazz CD. Lily Oyer, I believe, is on the line right now, and she has created music. We have students who have gone on to create and make music, and it's just so wonderful, the opportunity. So if you're interested in videography, if you're interested in photography, if you're interested in making music, this is a wonderful place to be. One of our students who's just recently graduated, you can see her video actually on the Principia site. She did her entire capstone on music and art. She created a record. She did the art for it, had a gallery show, all of that. And it was just so wonderful and such a complete example of the opportunities that were given to her, as well as the way that she could just, learn and keep going, and push through and challenge herself and learn all these things that she might not have gotten to do. Okay, sorry, I'm a little winded from walking up the stairs, and my arm's getting tired from holding this thing. Okay, so we have one more official stop before we kind of start to finish up. It's one of my favorite stops. Besides the abroad office, I love athletics. So coming out of Merrick Davis, normally and traditionally you would just walk that path straight up to the concourse. Here to the left is Cox, right through there, past the trailers and stuff like that. And then up through there, that is actually Ferguson, and we're gonna do a drive by there. But what I'd like to show you first is Hay Fieldhouse down there by the van. So let's go take a look. As you can see, it is spring here, and despite the wind, it is an absolutely beautiful day. I've spent the entire time in my t-shirt, which I had meant to show you right at the beginning, because I am Principia. It's a hashtag that we've started, and it's something that is near and dear to my heart. As you can see up there, that's a giant light pole for baseball. That's Joe and Ferg, the backside. And this is Hay Fieldhouse. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a brief tour, just because, A, because of the time, but B, because we wanna do one that is a little bit more fulfilling for athletics. We have a lot of facilities here at athletics, and the thing that's important to know is that a large percentage, and I don't remember exactly what the percentage is, so maybe Carly can help me out with that, what the exact percentage is of students who play sports, never mind being multi-sport athletes. So what we're gonna do right here is we've changed the entrance. So the entrance is now the Hall of Fame. So it's a beautiful, beautiful piece for Hall of Fame athletes, which include athletes who have been wonderful on the court, but also athletes like Jeff Williams, who received the Gold Award. And that is an award that goes towards athletes that have also demonstrated great character after graduating. It's a beautiful spot. Lewis Howes is Lewis Howes is one of our alum, and he's in the Hall of Fame, as well as Stephanie Case, who got inducted in 2012. Jordan Posnick, some of you may know this fella right here. He works at the school, and someone who I'm happy to call a friend. And then 2001 men's soccer, they were a really fun group to watch. And then our Olympian, Ngozi. So the Athletic Hall of Fame is a really cool way to enter the building. We have offices, we have a 4.0 club, which is something that's really great and allows for students to be commended for their athletics as well as their academics. And a personal favorite is Callie Oisted, who's a women's soccer player who I had the pleasure of coaching, and she was a permanent 4.0 member. So that's something that I'm just really proud of, because I think that you're a student first and an athlete second. And so what you can give to your program is doing well in the classroom as well. This is our gym. So this is our performance gym. And it has currently 2 volleyball courts up. It has the room to have 4 up. It has the room to have 2 basketball courts, but we have our center court and the bleachers come out. As you can see, things were kind of left in a hurry because we didn't know if people were going to be able to come back or were going to have to leave, and as they did. So Principia, following the stay-at-home order, it's why we've had people who haven't been able to come back to classes, and so everyone's learning remotely, and the faculty have just, faculty department, IT department, and administration have just done a wonderful job. Up here we have a little bit of a lounge area with photography around the area that can be seen, but then down here is our fitness room. So over in Crafton we have our indoor track and our natatorium. For those of you like me, that used to be our pool. I know it's really hard to wrap your head around that now it's not, but we have a beautiful, almost Olympic-sized pool over in Crafton. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see it today, but like I said, we're going to be doing an athletics tour in the near future, and so I will be able to get to that and show you a little bit more about it. But this is just a really cool. I just love this building. And on our athletics tour, I'll get to show you locker rooms and things like that, which are nothing like what we lived through when we shared all one locker room. They are beautiful now with big lockers and lots of space, and each team gets to do its own little character to each locker room. And being a supporter of athletics as well as a student, this was one of my favorite places to be, as well as an athlete. I loved coming here in the winter to support basketball, volleyball when I didn't have soccer practice or a game, and just coming down and going to different athletic events was really one of the highlights of my time here as a student, because people just went to support each other and love each other, and everyone's doing something new or challenging or different than what I'm able to do. And so it was just really a wonderful, wonderful time. Okay, it's getting a little bit windy, so I'm going to try to give you a little bit more. What we're going to do is we're going to drive around, we're going to see a couple of the facilities, and we're going to start finishing up our tour. So I'd love it if there were questions that I didn't get answered. If you could show us. Winston has been wonderful, and really he does love the golf cart a lot. So through there is Crafton. So in the winter, when all the leaves are gone, you can see it really well. In the fall, you can't see it at all. We have these beautiful blue signs now. This is the backside of the home run fence, if you will. And that is our observatory. In my college days, it was called R2D2, and it's a wonderful place to go and learn about the stars. Lawrence Doyle was a professor here for a while and just quite knowledgeable and shared a lot of information that keeps getting passed down. These are practice fields that you see on our left here. It's a practice field, and then our rugby field, and then our gazebo that houses just sometimes people hanging out, sometimes the cross-country team. Down below is my personal favorite, the soccer field. And in case you can't tell, tell, but the goal is blowing because there's no one pushing it. Anyways, it was blowing. I'm really sorry if you couldn't see that. And that's the track shed that's just been renovated and made really nice. Now we're gonna drive up East Quad. So remember all that time ago when we were over on the West Quad of campus that used to be all women? Now we're a little bit of men and a little bit of women on both sides of campus. And up here, some faculty and staff housing, as well as, oh, I'm so sorry about the wind. On the right is the baseball field. Up ahead, if you were here on a traditional visiting weekend, you would get to stay there at Gainer, right ahead of you. And if you're a junior or a transfer that's unable to come in the fall, we would love to have you come visit. It's a wonderful time. You spend a few days, you get to go to classes and things like that. The baseball field's beautiful with wonderful seating. This is Ferg and Joe McNabb. They both used to be, maybe your parents know them as Andy East or Andy West. To the left here is Rackham. Rackham is another house that is a beautiful Mcveigh house with wonderful rooms. Has been a freshman house and used to be known as, you know, just Rackham West and Rackham East Court. Just a beautiful, beautiful house. If you were headed to the Concourse to get some food, you'd go down that way. This is Brooks' house. It used to be a men's house. My college boyfriend lived in North, actually, but now it's a house that's a women's house, and it has, as you can see, there's children's play toys because our resident counselor there, she has 2 beautiful daughters. This is Buck House and another Mcveigh house. The Mcveigh houses have been working to get, some of them have air conditioning, some of them don't, and they're working to get those all finished up. As we come to a close, I'm going to make sure, I wanted to wave because I wanted to say thank you, but I wanted to make sure that you got to see just how beautiful our campus is here when you come around and you drive up. This is a walk that Winston and Chris and I do every day about this time, and what a beautiful view. It really doesn't get much better. The Christian Science piece is a bonus. It is not an expectation when you are a student here, but it is something that is near and dear to those of us that go here, and want something that we just really, really love. So we wanted to show you what Winston really likes to do. So Winston, you want to get off? Okay, there we go. Hey, look what Chris has. Look what Chris has. He loves to run, and he's really bad at returning the tennis ball. He likes to run in the front of things. But look at that kid. Look at him. He is just so fun. What a puppy. So, what I'm talking about is just how much we love Principia, just how much we hope that you have gotten a little bit of a feel for what Principia is like, for what it would be like to go here, for what we offer. I barely touched the surface. And if I didn't answer your question, I really hope that you've asked it, because it is something that we want to answer. We want to help you figure out if Principia is the right place for you. We love it here. We think that it is just so fun, and I hope that I wasn't too awkward or too awful, but I really enjoyed getting to share my love of Principia with you. I am Principia. These are my headphones because I thought I might have to use them. I am Principia, and we here in the admissions office and in the entire Principia community really open our arms to you. We hope that you and your families, we know and trust that you and your families are safe and your needs are being met during this challenging time in our country and in the world. But we love you, and please let us know if there's anything more that we can do for you. Take care. I am Principia. Winston is a big fan. Oh, Winston. Oh, Winston. Okay. And we're out.